Hello and a very warm welcome to everyone, particularly to our partners in different countries who may be joining us today. I can introduce myself to those who are from outside WorldFish. My name is Rajita Majumdar. I head communications at WorldFish, and I'm very glad to have you all with us today. I will be your host. So today we have a very interesting session. It's focused on a project called TAAT, and that spells out Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation. So it's really a long-running project that's funded by African Development Bank. It started in 2018, and it's now in its second phase. And today we have three wonderful speakers who will be bringing in three different voices to tell us about TAAT, its successes, its lessons, and experiences at this session today. So we'll hear from Professor Bernadette, who is the Fish Compact Lead for TAAT. She will give us an overview and its successes and some key takeaways. Then we will be able to share a farmer video with you, a short farmer video. And then we will hear from African Development Bank's Dr. Innocent. He'll share with us African Development Bank's strategy for growing Africa's aquaculture and partnership with WorldFish. And lastly, we will hear from Serge, who has been an integral part of TAAT. He has been to many of the TAAT countries, has been part of a lot of technical transfer activities on ground. So he'll share some insights from the field and farmers. We'll have a Q&A session, and then we will have closing remarks from Rodrigue Llosa, our Biosciences Research Director. Before we begin, and I hand it over to Bernadette, a few housekeeping rules for all the members. Please keep your mics on mute so there is no noise or disruption as speakers are presenting. And you could start putting your comments in the chat box. It could be on a rolling basis. And if you have questions, you could also pop them into the chat box. And once the presentations are over, we will start taking those questions and direct them to the speakers.
Good morning, colleagues and partners. I am Bernadette Fregene. I lead the TAAT Fish Compact, and I will be presenting to you how we have been transforming Africa aquaculture through the TAAT program. In this outline, I'll be presenting first about TAAT, then I'll continue to the approach we have used for technology transfer. After then, I will highlight the technologies we have been disseminating since 2018, the geographical scope, and how we have been transferring these technologies. I will share some success stories and outcomes with you from different African countries. I will also give you some key takeaways from the TAAT Fish Compact activities that has been implemented. And I will conclude by sharing with you the partners we have worked with, and finally appreciate them for a good work done over the years. Today, I'll be presenting on the behalf of the TAAT Fish Compact our activities that the TAAT Fish Compact has used for transforming Africa's aquaculture since 2022. The acronym of TAAT stands for Technologies for African Agricultural Transformation. It was launched in 2018 by the African Development Bank under the Feed Africa strategy. In summary, the vision is to accelerate Africa's agricultural transformation, while the mission statement is to empower African countries with innovation, partnership, and capacity building system. In summary, the objective is to increase agricultural productivity and household income. Next slide, please.
It's okay, Prof.
The TAAT Fish Compact is led by WorldFish, and WorldFish works together with the TAAT Fish Compact to accelerate the adoption of proven technologies through 4 strategies. The first is to establish strategic partnership with national partners in these countries. The second is to provide technologies as key blue innovations. The third strategy is to build capacity of the aquaculture value chain actors. And the fourth strategy is to strengthen the value chain in order to be able to supply the relevant inputs for the production of fish, and as well as to build an effective aqua business. The next slide. Since 2018, the TAAT Fish Compact has deployed 4 groups of technologies. The first group is quality fish seed, which is the monosex tilapia, Orochromis niloticus, as well as the gift tilapia, which was developed by WorldFish. Mass production of fingerlings in harpers and the fast-growing pure clarias species and its hybrid, which is the heteroclaria species. The second group of technologies that we have transferred is the fish rearing system, which is the earthen ponds, cage culture system, and the in-pond raceway system. Third technology that we also disseminate is the formulation and production of quality low-cost fish feed using locally available raw materials from these countries. And the fourth technology is the fish processing and fish value addition. So where do we do our technology transfer? The TAAT Fish Compact in the TAAT 2 phase. We operate in 6 Anglophone countries and 5 Francophone countries that are located in West Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, as well as the Southern Africa. In terms of the impact pathway for the technology transfer, it is as follows. The first thing we do, we identify proven aquaculture technologies. We work with WorldFish scientists as well as extension personnel in this national system. Then secondly, we create awareness through the innovation platforms, and we train. We do capacity building by means of the training of trainers as well as the step-down training. We also strengthen the aquaculture value chain actors. This results to outputs in terms of certified hatcheries that produce quality fish seed, certified feed mills that produce affordable fish feed that will lead to higher fish production, as well as outcomes which include increase in income, improved nutrition and food security, and empowerment of actors in these countries, thereby impacting Africa's sustainable aquaculture growth and regional self-sufficiency in fish production. Next one. Next slide. I will now share some success stories and outcomes from our partners in various countries. The first is a young man, a youth from Zambia. He followed us for the training. He participated in the training of trainers in WorldFish Research Training Center in Abasa, Egypt in 2018. When he came, he was a high school teacher. When he returned from that training, he resigned and started his fish farm. Now, his tilapia production has increased from 50,000 to 3 million tilapia fingerlings per season. Roy Mukunda has also increased his catfish fingerlings from 0 to 1.5 million and has generated revenue of $60,000 annually. This has led to capacity building of 15,000 male fish farmers, 8,000 female fish farmers, and out of them, 6,000 are youths, all in Zambia. He has also been able to do cross-border training of fish farmers from DRC, Namibia, Angola, Tanzania, Malawi, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. The next slide, please. The second success story is about a young man from Cameroon called Youngma. And he participated in the training of trainers and was able to build capacity for hatchery management, resulting to an increase in production of his catfish fingerlings and 85% survival rate. And his revenue increased to $24,000. Next slide. Dennis is from Kenya. He also participated in the TAAT in Kenya, and the survival rate of his fingerlings increased from 60% to 85%. There was a reduction of feed costs by 20%. His gross profit increased to $774. Next slide. In Côte d'Ivoire, we had a major breakthrough in which we were able to have the first large-scale production of heterochlorial hybrids, which resulted to 90% survival rate with a production of 395,000 premium catfish fingerlings. CASI's revenue for fingerling production was $17,500, and for the table size production was $45,300 per production cycle. The next slide, please. In Zambia, another youth was also trained in catfish production, and her production increased from 3,000 to 50,000 per month with improved survival. Next slide, please. Caroline was one of the women who participated in fish value addition training in Côte d'Ivoire. As a result of the training, her smoked fish business turned into a thriving brand, creating fish cakes, patties, and fish pepper soup that are now featured at major events. Next slide. In DRC, Fabrics from DRC also participated in the TAAT Fish Compact Value Addition training in DRC, and his business was revolutionized by adopting the salting and smoking techniques. He was able to process 1,500 kilograms of fish in just 4 months and earned a revenue of $10,000 US. The next slide. You can see from all these success stories and outcomes that the TAAT program is a platform for transformation in Africa. Why? Because it's able to scale up proven agricultural technologies. Secondly, it's able to operate through specialized compacts who are specialists in the technologies. Thirdly, it provides science-based high-impact solutions to Africa's food demands and production challenges, and is able to boost productivity and align with national and regional priorities. Ultimately, drive better livelihoods, stronger food systems, and sustainable economic transformation. Next slide, please. The progress that we have made towards targets for each of the TAAT output indicator shows that the TAAT Fish Compact has been able to train 32 institutions compared to the targeted 6 institutions we are supposed to reach out to. We have been able to deploy 11 climate smart technologies to fish farmers compared to the 15. 34,827 value chain actors have been trained in better management practices and climate smart aquaculture technologies. And these partners have produced more than 192 million catfish fingerlings and tilapia fingerlings. In terms of the seed roadmap developed, we have developed 4 seed roadmaps in Kenya, Cameroon, Côte d'Ivoire, and Republic of Benin. And we have also been able to support 91 agri-businesses, aqua businesses, compared to 76 we are supposed to support. The next slide, please. In terms of percentage, individuals we have supported is 122%. Seed roadmaps developed 400%. The volume of fingerlings produced 72%. People trained 45%. Climate smart technology to fish farmers 73%. The TAAT fish compact technologies that have been mainstreamed into country programs is 100%. And we have been able to train institutions of 533%. Next slide, please. These success stories in all the various African countries show that the TAAT model is scalable, is adaptable, and is impactful. Why? Because we have proven technologies that deliver tangible results. You can ask our partners in these countries. We also ensure continuous capacity building for sustainability and lasting impact. And we work with the government that produce the supportive policies which are vital for scaling innovations. And above all, we have strong partnerships with the private sector that accelerates transformation and adoption. Next slide, please. At this point, we want to say thank you to all our partners who have been there for us, especially the African Development Bank, who is the donor and the coordinator of TAAT initiatives. Since 2018, African Development Bank has funded the TAAT program for the deployment of technologies for fish agricultural and fish production. We also want to say thank you to WorldFish, the technical lead for delivering aquatic food systems, innovations, and expertise. To our wonderful partners in the countries, the aquaculture value chain champions that adopted technologies, we say thank you. And to the government, ministries, and directorates that have ensured relevant policy for scaling of this technology, we say thank you. Together, we are feeding Africa with aquatic foods. Thank you for your partnership.
Welcome to this discussion. My name is Mukonda Lloyd, Managing Director from Mukasa Fish Farm here in Zambia. And I wish to share with you my journey with the WorldFish and under Aquaculture Compact 1 and 2, the training and the program sponsored by African Development Bank. I wish to highlight that I joined WorldFish Center program in 2018. And during this period, we were doing some breeding on the farm here, and our production was quite very low, and we had a monthly production of 50,000 tilapia and 0 catfish, because we had not yet invested in catfish because we lacked the skills for breeding catfish. Then after the training in 2018, we were given the skills for tilapia breeding, catfish breeding, and a lot of other capacity building programs in good aquaculture practices. So this helped us to increase our capacity, and we started producing on average 3 million fingerlings of tilapia per season. And we also invested in catfish, and our production has stood at 1.5 million fingerlings of catfish. And this has helped us to generate a revenue of $260,000 per year. And it has also helped us to finance a lot of other activities that have been going on. So some of the other activities that we've been doing as Mukasa, we've been instrumental in capacity building. We have trained over 15,000 male farmers across the country and 8,000 female farmers across the country. From these, only 6,000 are youths. And we've also covered a number of countries in Southern Africa. We've covered Tanzania, Malawi, Congo, Angola, Namibia, and Zimbabwe, as well as Botswana. So thanks to African Development Bank for financing this initiative, and the WorldFish for spearheading this kind of training, which has benefited us.
Thank you. So with that, we now move to listening to the donor on their perspective of funding TAAT project and what it means to Africa's aquaculture strategy, and also a bit about their partnership with WorldFish. We have Innocent Musabiamana. He's the Chief Agricultural Technologies Officer and TAAT Coordinator at African Development Bank. Are you here with us, Innocent? I believe he was a bit occupied with another meeting. You're here. Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm
Can
trying
we
to
project
manage
your slides? Thanks.
Indeed, WorldFish is a great partner in our journey for Feed Africa strategy with a clear milestone on driving sustainable growth through aquaculture and fisheries. So here, as African Development Bank, we engage specifically in financing, policy dialogue, technical support on fishery and aquaculture across the continent. AfDB identifies the aquaculture fishery as a sector component of the blue economy. Through programs and reports, the bank is arguing greater investment to harness the potential of aquaculture, where Africa is still underexploited. So some of the examples that Prof. Bernadette touched on, for example, through loans and and the grant, the bank is supporting different countries, specifically in a fishery and aquaculture development on the continent. So one is in the Cote d'Ivoire, recently approved pro loan with target to reach 700,000 people. Benin project to promote sustainable aquaculture and the competitiveness fishery value chains. Of course, the TAAT too, which is more through the Fish Compact led by the WorldFish. This may be to add on with what Prof said, as indeed TAAT was designed for increased productivity through accessing to quality seed and the proper guidance and in terms of practices, but also involving the private sector. This is where I would be proudly saying that WorldFish is playing a major role across the continent. And we would like really to see this moving forward in the same trend. And to add on that exactly, so the other point here is what the role of TAAT in terms of providing technical assistance in the design of investment operations. So if any investment operation on the continent is happening, in terms of aquaculture and fishery, the WorldFish expertise are being involved through the facilitation of the compact leaders. And that's very important as we really revolutionize the transformation on the continent. So the other element, which is what I've been working closely on the continent, is we have internally the financing window called the regional public good. So the regional public financing window has been very instrumental, specifically to support regional communities, specifically SADC and others, ECOWAS, EAC, specifically in terms of infrastructure and economy connectivity. So how using this financing window, infrastructure are being put in place, specifically for fish marketing across the regions. And also the knowledge, capacity, innovation, e-commerce, financial service and climate risk management. So where these public goods are being accessed by regional member countries through a regional public window financing that help access to these public goods. So the other one is through putting the socio-ecological connectivity, fish stock, and the conservation strategy, dietary, nutritional well-being, marine spatial plans. So through this financing window and working with regional blocks, we're able to set up all these major component or major solutions as regard to support or develop the aquaculture and the fishery on the continent. So the other one is when you look at the policy harmonization at regional level in terms of supporting trade, and also looking to the local and the national institution capacity building, and also looking to the regional governance when it comes to traceability of these fishery products across region on the continent. So AfDB focus areas. I just said briefly on RPG and how they participate in the design investment operation. So the other this focus area mostly we're looking at through the TAAT, for example, making sure the productivity and the access to the technology are being taken with the technical support of TAAT, value chain development by strengthening the processing, transport, market linkages, reducing post-harvest losses as infrastructure, I said above, enabling environment. I just mentioned with working with the regs, supporting regulatory framework, hatchery certification, input supply, public-private sector partnership. So this is really making sure that the entire value chain has a whole conducive environment where we support. So the other one is climate smart and inclusive aquaculture, embedding sustainability, ecosystem health, women and youth participation throughout the value chain development or any investment operation that are being designed at the bank level. So the other one, financing, facilitate access to the funding and investment for infrastructure, hatcheries, feed. So through the bank support, we facilitate all this financing access across the continent. So how WorldFish can be involved further? So we have already a good example of TAAT, and I think we can do much better what we are doing, much as we are very happy and successful what we are doing, as TAAT doing a catalytic role in terms of providing technical assistance to the National Research Institute, but also private sector as regard to improved seed, feed, value chain innovation across the continent. So this is what we are doing, and I think we can now enlarge our base and reach more millions of farmers on the continent as we improve the aquaculture and fishery on the continent. Capacity building and knowledge transfer, this is being done. Prof mentioned the example of these young women, the women across the continent through the TAAT, what they are able to do in their countries, cascading the knowledge they received. That's something to do and scale as we really reach millions of farmers. This feed become a very big issue, and we have very specific tailor-made focus and programs. I think we can reach more and success on the continent. The policy and institutional. So I always give an example of what we did in Africa, in Rwanda. I always tell Prof and even Serge, this is something we can support other countries. Just the model is there, just customize in different countries. Certification of hatcheries, that's help creating enabling environment for private sector investment and really access to quality. So this is something very important as moving forward, as leveraging the already on a success story in this lesson learned on particular areas and interventions. So the other element that as we look at the regional regulatory framework, but also harmonization, we need WorldFish can play a major and important role. So the other one is monitoring, evaluation, learning, really generating evidence-based. As I said, moving forward, the role of these CG centers participating in investment operation design is very important. So we'll be able to influence and convince policymakers, and as now the only source of resources, we should really use this evidence-based, showing where we succeeded and how we are ready to scale the investment to their countries. With this evidence-based generating, I think we can really generate more and influence our investment on the continent. As way forward of collaboration, indeed, I just mentioned. So let's join co-design, join program, identify together what we call the dialogue together, and then support country to really revolutionize the aquaculture and fishery on the continent. Recently, I think last week I was having a discussion with my colleague who's leading the blue economy, I think bringing all three of us together, we can make a difference, because there's some big opportunities that you can work together, coming up regional or project identification and design to make the transformation of aquaculture on the continent. I've said the capacity building. I've said using the TAAT model, the scaling of proven technology, the policy enabling. The path is very clear. We have all what it takes to move this forward. Let's work together. And once again, thank you very much for the partnership between the bank and WorldFish. And I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Super insightful to hear from the bank's perspective. We have about 10 minutes left, precious 10 minutes left. So I'll quickly invite Serge. I believe he's been participating in a lot of field activities in many countries. So if you could share with us some high points or impressions about the farmer's perception, and if you see any major insights that you want to share, please go ahead, Serge. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajita. Thank you, Prof, for inviting me to join these sessions. And many thanks indeed, Dr. Innocent, for your constant support and availability. Okay, so thank you very much. And thank you, Rajita, for inviting me also to share the insights on the field. I would say, if I was asked like what keeps me going, maybe just even at WorldFish after 2 years and 2 years and so, is to say that I'm deeply proud of to be part of that work, that effort to create, adapt, and transfer technology and innovations that are making a real difference on the ground. Because not only the work is giving us genuine joy, importantly, it's incredibly rewarding to see the impact that we are making on the ground. Whether it is an increase in terms of knowledge, investment in how farmers are working, if their livelihood is improving. So I think it's good. Innovation is not just about creating the new idea or technology, not bringing new technology only, but it's also about transferring them into the hand of many and scaling them now until they shape a certain future. And through the TAAT program, you could see from Prof intervention that we've reached in 2 years, more than 12 countries. And as a scientist, I had the opportunity to develop an idea, test it, transfer it on the ground, gather feedback, and even improve them from the feedback. All this by working directly with the people these innovations are meant to serve and in the real world setting. So I think it's impressive, it's good. And as we're speaking, many of these farmers that we've trained, they are now training their peers, creating what I like to call the sustainable ripple effect of technology and innovations. So I see there an opportunity, not only the joy that I see because we are in group and farmers are really grateful. As WorldFish, we are available and we have corridor for them to reach out to us to ask for improvement, to ask for feedback whenever we finish trainings, and these things is kept going. So when I look at that, I see that there are opportunity for capturing more the impact that we are doing in the on the ground as WorldFish. Okay, and when we move in a few minutes to the Q&A question, more than question, what I would love to hear actually, if Rajita, you allow me to say it, is the way we are doing, are we doing it the right way? Or what can we improve better in the technology? As of now, you could see that we have also 4 to 5 technology that we are implementing on the ground. The seed productions, tilapia monocetes production, which our colleague from Zambia, Dr. Samuel Mengitu, is championing. Hello, if you are there. We have the fish processing and value additions, We have the catfish production. We have the fish feed formulation and production that I'm also doing. We have the impond raceway promotion that the colleague from Egypt also are helping with. But these are not all the technology we have in-house. We have more that we can promote. So from where you are there other technology you see farmers are needing more that we can do? These are the comments also that I would love to receive from all of you. So thank you very much. Thank you, Rajita. Thank you, Prof. And let's move in the Q&A then.
Thanks, Serge. That was indeed very heartwarming and inspiring. We can take one question or comment, or maybe two. Please go ahead and unmute yourself. There is one question here actually from Isra Zahura. I have a question. Did you produce the salted tilapia? I think this is for Bernadette,
Prof,
maybe, or
Prof, are you here? Hello, Prof.
Yes, I'm here.
There is a question.
So during the TOT fish value addition, partners are taught various methods. And one of these methods is how to salt the fish. Because salted fish differs depending on the community and the country. Some countries are used to eating salted fish. They use salt to preserve their fish. But in some others, it's a smoked fish, which using charcoal. So that is the technology that we are taught. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, I think you have. If there's no other question, I see one more question. Maybe we can take that and then move to closing remarks. From Joseph Kueu, is there any challenge encountered by TAAT program? So yeah, that's a good question. Maybe Bernadette, you want to take that, or Serge?
Okay, a challenge that we encounter is money. You know, the money that the TAAT, the African Development Bank gives us is just a seed money for us to go and demonstrate that this technology is good. But for us, for the technology to be scalable beyond what we are doing in that country, the government has to invest some money. And that is why some countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Benin Republic, Angola, and other countries, they have taken country loans. So the purpose of those country loans is to scale up these technologies. To adopt technology for large scale, you need money. And it's not seed money. It's not grant. It's real loan. The country has to take a loan. And African Development Bank is a good source to take that loan from. And when they take the loan, they call WorldFish to come in to help them to transfer the technologies. That's how it works.
All right. Thank you. There's one more question, but perhaps Bernadette, you or Serge could answer that in the chat box. We can move to, oh, Innocent has his hand raised. Please go ahead.
Sorry, I've been managing the two, but
Impressive.
normally it is for women to be multitasked, but I think now it has become the men too. So if you need to manage the world, what is moving. So there is one comment that came in the chat. Any challenge we had in the implementation of TAAT? Definitely, a number of them. But I will point out one or two. One of them, which is not a challenge at WorldFish level, that you have managed to overcome this, is when because TAAT is an ecosystem, when you bring together CG centers, so the design of the TAAT program was at the beginning, because we call it a compact. Compact of fish, compact of maize, compact of rice, and you call it the lead compact leader. So what that means in a real sense? It means that we want to, as we do the transformation of the continent, through the compact lead, we are able to access to number of expertise within that leading expertise institution. So what that means, Prof is an extension specialist, but you have a hatchery, genetician, you have a disease management, who's the one special in the private sector. So we have to access to them so that any need, any requirement, any demand from RMCs, countries, we are able to tap to this expertise and come to support specific challenge on a specific country. So for WorldFish, it has worked well, but still to improve more and not really look like for other compact, where compact as leaders and isolated out there, not within integrated institutions. So if you are able to overcome this one, we are able to really make a real transformation, what we envision on TAAT program. So otherwise, we look for our collaboration, specifically supporting the design, investment operation at country and the regional level to make a very comprehensive. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you
Innocent.
indeed.
Yeah. I think very quickly, let me invite Rodrigue Yosa, our Biosciences Director, to respond to you, Innocent, if you're still here, and then also take us to the closing. So Rodrigue, over to you.
Thank you very much, Rajita, and thank you, Prof. Bernadette Fregine, Innocent, and Serge for the great presentations. We are very excited to see all what TAAT has been able to achieve in only a few years on the African continent, and we hope this will set a precedent for many other achievements like this in the future. Innocent, we really appreciate very much the support from the African Development Bank, and also the close collaboration we have through TAAT and also through many other conversations we have. And we will always make ourselves available to work with you to make sure that we achieve the common vision that we have, which is to improve livelihood in Africa through sustainable aquaculture development. I was very fortunate to be involved in this TAAT program from the beginning, from 2018, when Prof took the leadership of the Compact on Fish, and she traveled to Penang. We discussed a lot during that period. And I was fortunate to be one of the trainers also on fish feeds and nutrition just before Surge. And I remember very well that through TAAT, we were able to train many Francophone countries and Anglophone countries, 12 of them in 2020. And the slides shared with the participants were published on WorldFish website and were downloaded more than 60,000 times. Meaning, wow, for someone like me, who have been working a lot in scientific publications and so on, that is the greatest achievement, I would say, from the use of my research activities on the ground by the participants. So I was very excited when Rajita shared this news with me. It is still there. How to formulate fish feed in French, composition des aliments pour poissons. That also has not only been sharing these experiences, aquaculture experiences across Africa, but as you can see in the presentation, that has been changing lives for the best. And we are happy to see the youth in Zambia, the youth in Cameroon, the youth in Cote d'Ivoire, women also involved in it, across the value chain, being trained and improving their livelihood through that training and through the support coming from the African Development Bank. A few days ago, I was discussing with Tim, the director of Scaling for Impact at the CGR level, and he mentioned to me that for him, TAAT is the flagship program on which the Scaling for Impact science program of the CGIAR is building, which goes beyond what WorldFish is doing, but goes to the CGIAR. So TAAT again is impacting life not only in aquaculture, but also in everything related to the agricultural sector. we will really appreciate if this can really be the starting point. Come back to you with a concept note, Innocent, if you kindly continue to support. And we recently also discussed with the African Development Bank a concept note that was submitted on establishing an African research hub in one of the Western African countries. And this is again a discussion with the African Development Bank, so that we can take all this to the next level and make sure that, yes, TAAT has done a lot through the Fish Compact since 2018. But Africa still contributes 1.5% of the global aquaculture, only 1.5%. And Egypt is the country contributing 60% of all that. So there is a lot to be done. And according to estimates from FAO, Africa can produce 300 times more than current global aquaculture production. 300 times with the potential we have. So a lot still has to be done. And WorldFish, with the African Development Bank, we have to tackle these challenges to the best of our capabilities. So on this, Rajita, I know we have exceeded the time a little bit, but it's a great opportunity really for WorldFish, for the aquatic food biosciences, and also for everyone involved from WorldFish side to this TAAT program to continue to support this initiative from the African Development Bank. Thank you all very much.
Thanks a lot for that really energizing message, Rodrigue. And thanks so much to all our speakers, Innocent and Faris, for making yourself available, and to all the partners who joined us today. I know there's a lot of questions and comments and all the applause that's coming through. So kudos to the speakers, to the TAAT program, and thanks so much everyone for joining. And apologies again for the tech issues in the beginning. Until next time, next Fish for Thought. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajita.